Nathan West's return to Port Charles has the city trembling with both hope and suspicion. For 7 long years, the beloved detective had been declared dead after being shot by his father, Cesar Faison, a tragedy that shattered Maxie's world and left their son, James, to be raised by others. But now Nathan walks back into the lives of those who mourned him, claiming no memory of what happened after that fateful day. His reappearance is nothing short of miraculous, yet behind the miracle lies a quiet unease. His face is the same, his voice familiar, but something in his eyes feels different, something colder, perhaps even dangerous. As he moves through Port Charles with the determination to reclaim his life, the boundaries between love, deception, and identity blur into something far darker than anyone imagined. Nathan begins his new chapter by visiting Anna Devane, congratulating her on her return to the PCPD and asking for his old job back. His words are measured, his demeanor calm, almost rehearsed. Anna, a woman of intuition, feels the subtle dissonance in his presence, the way his gaze lingers too long, how his smile fades just a moment too early. But he invokes duty and family, insisting that all he wants is to raise his son, James. His request seems innocent enough, but the timing is haunting. Maxie lies in a coma, trapped in a half-sleep that keeps her silent, unable to verify the man's authenticity. Nathan, meanwhile, moves through Port Charles as if he never left, but his memory is riddled with gaps. He cannot recall the years that followed his shooting, nor can he explain where he has been or how he survived. And yet, his confidence never falters. Spinelli, who has acted as James's guardian and emotional anchor since Maxie's hospitalization, is instantly uneasy. For years, he has been both father figure and protector to the young boy, building a quiet home filled with stability and love. But Nathan's return threatens to unravel everything. The courts recognize Nathan as the biological father, and there's no legal precedent to deny him custody. Yet, Spinelli's instincts tell him something isn't right. This man's eyes, though they mirror the real Nathan's gentleness, carry shadows of calculation. Even James, overjoyed to meet the father he only knew through photographs, notices a certain strangeness, a rigidness in the man's hugs, a hesitancy when speaking of memories he should have cherished. Felicia and Lulu share Spinelli's doubts. Their conversations in hushed tones often circle back to the same question: where was Nathan all these years? His story of waking up in an unknown facility with partial amnesia sounds far too convenient. Felicia, ever protective of her family, warns that the Nathan they see might not be the same man they once loved. Lulu recalls past traumas in Port Charles, of brainwashing, mind transfers, and scientific horrors committed in the name of control. With Faison's name once again surfacing in whispers, the possibility of something sinister grows by the hour. As Nathan settles back into his life, he wastes no time in expressing his intent to take James home with him. He tells Spinelli that he appreciates everything he's done but that James deserves to live with his real father. It's not said with anger but with quiet finality, as if it's already decided. The others try to reason with him, suggesting that the boy remain where he feels secure until Maxie awakens. But Nathan stands firm. His composure unnerves them, it's too smooth, too precise, the kind of emotional control that feels practiced, not natural. The man who once wore his heart openly now conceals it beneath layers of calculated patience. Meanwhile, Anna begins investigating the details of Nathan's survival. The official reports from years ago never accounted for a body, but what she uncovers now only deepens the mystery. Nathan was found near the outskirts of Zurich, with no identification and severe cranial trauma. His fingerprints matched, but his blood work revealed traces of compounds previously associated with experimental mind control drugs. The implications are horrifying. It mirrors the very research Faison once used to manipulate others, and Peter August's involvement in similar neurological experiments. Could Nathan be a victim of his father's twisted legacy, or worse, a vessel for it? The tension escalates when a security video from a foreign lab surfaces showing someone resembling Nathan visiting a restricted facility months before his return. The date aligns with the day Maxie fell into her coma after being drugged by Jens Sidwell, a pharmaceutical executive with known ties to Faison's network. The connection is undeniable. Anna realizes that Maxie's accident may have been orchestrated to remove her as an obstacle. If Nathan had been conditioned to reclaim his son under the guise of a reunion, Maxie's incapacitation would make that path effortless. Spinelli refuses to surrender James without proof of Nathan's authenticity. He hires a private investigator and secretly obtains DNA samples, only to find the results ambiguous. The genetic match is perfect, but there are discrepancies suggesting cellular tampering, markers that indicate deliberate gene editing. This discovery throws everything into chaos. Spinelli suspects that someone cloned Nathan or altered another person's DNA to mimic him. But by then, Nathan has already taken James for an overnight visit, disappearing for nearly a day before returning with vague excuses about losing cell service. Fear grips Port Charles as the truth unravels. Whispers spread that the man calling himself Nathan may in fact be Peter August, his consciousness transferred into Nathan's body through advanced neurological procedures once used in Faison's labs. The theory explains his perfect physical resemblance yet strange behavioral inconsistencies. Peter, whose supposed death left countless questions, may have used Faison's remaining research to inhabit Nathan's form, seeking redemption or revenge through the ultimate deception. Anna confronts Nathan privately, testing his reactions with stories from the past only the real Nathan would remember. He passes some tests flawlessly, but on others, his answers falter, slightly wrong, slightly off. When she asks about the lullaby Maxie used to hum while pregnant, his eyes glaze with confusion. A chill runs through her spine. This man isn't lying, he believes his words. Which makes the reality even more terrifying. His mind has been rewritten to believe he is Nathan West. Meanwhile, James begins to have strange dreams. He tells Spinelli that his father speaks another name in his sleep, Peter. The boy's innocent observation confirms Anna's darkest fears. The man living in Nathan's skin might be carrying two identities, each fighting for dominance. As the mental conflict intensifies, cracks appear in his behavior. His calm facade fractures into moments of rage and fear, often followed by visible pain. Sometimes he clutches his head as if battling voices that no one else can hear. In the midst of this chaos, Maxie's vital signs fluctuate, and she briefly awakens long enough to whisper a single name, Peter. Her utterance sends shockwaves across Port Charles. Anna realizes the unthinkable has happened. Peter orchestrated Maxie's coma and used her silence to ensure his plan succeeded. The man believed to be Nathan may be a construct, a vessel designed for infiltration and control. As Anna and Spinelli race to uncover proof, Nathan, or whatever remains of him, grows increasingly unstable. He begins visiting the cemetery late at night, standing over his own grave, whispering words no one can hear. The internal war between Nathan's residual consciousness and Peter's implanted identity consumes him. James, frightened and confused, becomes the ultimate pawn in a battle for humanity itself. The climax builds toward a devastating confrontation at the PCPD, where Anna corners Nathan and confronts him with the truth. Under the weight of evidence and emotional turmoil, his mind fractures completely, flickering between Nathan's desperate love for his family and Peter's ruthless determination to survive. His last words, a plea to protect James, echo through the station before he collapses, leaving the question of who he truly was forever unanswered. In the aftermath, Port Charles mourns anew. Maxie slowly recovers, torn between grief and disbelief. James asks if his father will return, and no one can find the courage to answer. Spinelli promises to protect him, but the shadows of Faison's experiments linger. Somewhere, in the depths of the WSB archives, a final file marked Project Phoenix is sealed away, a project that hints Nathan's story may not yet be over. For in a world where death and identity are merely variables to be rewritten, the return of one man may have been only the beginning of something far greater and far darker.